Yes, sir.
What's up, guys?
Yes. This DJ will kick the floor in three, two, 1.
It had to go there. It had to go there. And the greetings to everyone. Sanbonan sanbingalela molweni dumelang sheng. Bati si ninjani sanbingalela nje. We are here. We are here to do what we need to do.
Yeah. 7
Okay. Ifigile ke lendoda abathi ufakazi. Ufakazi ewafika.
Hayi kuyasha lapha ePretoria guy.
Ufikile ufakazi.
I don't think we've ever had
Ufikile.
such a breakthrough in a long while. Except for Lishaban, of course, but I think he is more fearless. I don't know whether it's because he's coming from KZN and he's from the political killing stars team or what, but he's a refreshing witness. That's all I can say. He stands his ground. He means what he says what he means. I saw the judge there trying to intimidate him more than once, trying to make him change his statement. He remained with the facts that he knows and that he's come to court with. He didn't budge. So that was very refreshing. It was very refreshing. It's been so long since we had a witness like that. The words of Advocate Mshololo, Utheni, let us not protect the evidence. Let's speak facts.
Let us not conceal the truth. Let us speak facts. Let us not hide behind certain gimmicks. Let us speak facts. That's what Mshololo said.
This case that
in a
Mokhani
nutshell.
referred us to doesn't exist. Whether it's difficult to swallow, it is the truth.
Injalo Jinda.
Mshololo is just as fed up as most of us. I'm tired. Guys, when I say that I'm tired, I am tired. I don't know what this judge and the state, where they are going and where they are headed. But this should be enough to dismiss the case. But guess what? He's not going to do it.
No, it's not.
He's supposed to set Ntanzi free because he was kidnapped. We've been saying all along that they kidnapped that young man. They kidnapped him and wasted 6 years of his life. And people think we're crazy.
Yes.
He was kidnapped during lockdown by the cops, the cold case unit.
Yes.
That case does not exist, you guys. It doesn't exist. It was created, manufactured, fabricated. It doesn't exist.
Yeah, boo.
Sure.
It's a new case, and then they told us to focus on other stuff because this is, what is it? What do they use for this case? They said it's classified.
They said it's classified.
Can you
Confidential.
imagine?
Confidential. Kanago, they're referring to, you know, when you get arrested and your ID and your personal information gets run through that system to see if it's going to pick up any cases that are related to your name. That is what they mean when they say confidential. They're just meaning pulling of his record. And I can bet you there's nothing. Now, after hearing how they managed to embroil this Nongoma case and make Ntanzi an accused on a case that was already closed, that was finalized.
Not only that, they added to that case, they recreated the whole thing. They added murder.
The desperation of it all.
They added murder.
Just to ruin someone's life.
It's the desperation and also coupled with a bit of what we can term as stupidity. You go and photocopy the document. You photocopy the whole docket. You don't have decency of reading it so that you understand that what this docket is all about. To a certain extent that you end up recreating your own new case, rebranding under the same case number.
Angithi ubone imeda, which is another case that was consolidated into this case of Qiniselani.
They can't even understand the files of SAPS.
But the kiri sergeant, the kiri
Brigadiers and all that.
Kiri brigadier, hey!
Brigadier so and so will come and testify.
Ow.
It's just a shame. It's a shame. Not only have they wasted someone's time, they are even failing on their own stuff. They are failing to copy their own stuff. And then you go to court, then you find a judge that
entertains
the mess. You find a judge that is disagreeing with everything, and it tells you it's the law.
And yazi uMgomezulu umtshelile. Yazi batshelile uMgomezulu. uMgomezulu ushilo. And he was vilified and threatened. One, I would say a threat. At the time, I interpreted it as a threat, and it still is. The threat when he pulled from the system the case record of this Nongoma case. You remember that, you guys? He pulled the first page that had the accused as Qiniselani Buthelezi.
Which we later, which we find out that Qiniselani Buthelezi is who? The other name?
Makimba Buthelezi.
Tell me how on earth. Let me take off this jacket because it gets hot when you talk about this. Tell me.
Sure, guys.
Tell me why would accused number one confess about Makimba and Marcos, and we are told it's a mistake, or we are told it was a lie,
that he lied.
He was taking them to what they call it, misleading a wild
goose
chase. Right?
With people he doesn't know.
Yes, of people he does not know. And then tell me why we later find Ndanzi being called Buthelezi
when he's getting arrested. They did refer to him as Buthelezi. That's what Ndanzi said in his testimony, that they called me Buthelezi. I had to take out my ID to show them that I'm not Buthelezi.
These guys.
They still kidnapped him either way. That was a kidnapping. There's no sugarcoating it now. There's no sugarcoating it. We cannot. Mshololo is right. We cannot keep doing this. It feels wrong. It feels wrong to water down what these people did to Ntanzi. It was a kidnapping during lockdown. They took him on a case that doesn't exist, and they locked him across districts. They take him from Rustenburg. They are telling him you have a case from Nongoma. They are not taking him to Nongoma the following day to stand before the magistrate. No. They're keeping him in Pretoria.
Questioning him, which even the police that is there in that court is asking that question. Why is this person, because this person was in transito.
Yes.
Why was he not transported to KZN the following day? Why was he not transported to KZN the following day?
Even
would
the
judge,
cop is perplexed.
Prosecutor comes in. What he says the case was not put on a roll. The prosecutor refused. He's even
adding
evidence. This Madala, he's even adding evidence. He's quoting the very same evidence that he's always bragging about listening. Wrong. This Madala.
I knew it was wrong. I just left a question mark next to it, but I'm like, I didn't hear such evidence.
This man, disgraceful, disgusting.
What is going on with this man? What is going on with this Madala? He can't even hide his emotions. He can't hide it anymore. It's so embarrassing. Sizothini ebantwini ukuthi ijaji iyenza nje. Sizothini. What a shame. Sizothini kodwa Nkosi yami. How are you going to explain this? That there's a judge who interferes while the defense counsel is presenting their evidence, is leading a witness that they called. He interjects and he goes to La La Land in his interjections with wrong information. Not only that, he's defending Mogani's incompetence. He's defending it.
I don't know whether the word incompetence is befitting on this one. I think the word that would fit the situation is cramping, fabrication. That's the word.
Did you also notice that as he was filling in the OB, he also got the Nongoma case wrong?
Yes.
10 of 2018, he's writing Nongoma case 163, 6 of 2018.
I hope he's proud where he is. As he runs and does everything, I hope he's proud of the work that he has done. When he's sitting and watching, he's like, yeah, I used to work for cold case team. You know, I was the best in this. I was the best cook.
There was also a police officer who was testifying Madlanga Commission about General Senona and the toxic work relationship amongst them and being bullied and all of that, these allegations that he made. The man said, I wanted my coffee machine. From his coffee machine, let me tell you, havoc wreaked on him. From him wanting his coffee machine, he was taken through lie detector tests. He was...
Hello, Zanzi?
Mr. Anu, how are you?
I'm good, and you?
I'm okay, man. No, I wanted to correct Emily. She used the wrong word there. So thank you so much for that correction. Even I thought you will say he's defending like fraud. No, incompetence. You can be smart, but that is you being incompetent.
Yes.
So that is something else.
Yeah.
Hey man, I was so hurt, man. That heat exchange between Urata and Mshololo.
As he assumes that he's the oldest man living in this earth.
Bruh. And later said, even when defense is on the podium, he can't drop the pen. Calm defense. The pen, right away. Man, ke Mr. Anonymous le ene gape mo Botswana. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, let us start.
All right. Okay, let us start. Oh my God. Today I have to be very quick. Okay. So, yeah, Colonel BT Khumalo. Budomngani Timothy Khumalo is his full name, and his CV, he said that he was enlisted in the SAPS in 1990. January the 6th, he became a constable from 1990 to 1996. 1996 is when he started being an investigator and working on investigations. And from warrant officer to becoming a captain, he said he stayed quiet for some time because he was promoted to the rank of a captain in 2015. So from 1998 to 2015, there was no promotion. That was sure a long time. And then he said he became a lieutenant colonel this year, 1st of March 2026, and he's been a detective since 1996 till date. He has been in the service for 36 years. Attached to KZN Taxi Violence Unit and the unit that is at provincial level. Also, Ramasipili asked him, let us come and meet, or to the meat of why we called you here. Are you familiar with the Nongoma case 16310 of 2018? And Khumalo said, yes, I am. He said it was allocated to him to investigate. He gave the background of how this case came about. He said during 2018 in October, they were busy with investigations of murder cases in Nongoma, but then he was in the PKTT, the Political Killings Task Team.
Yeah.
And while they were doing investigations, he was approached by Warrant Officer Ntolo. He's originally from the Taxi Violence Unit as well, and he asked him to assist him to arrest a certain suspect who was wanted in this matter. So the reason why he was asking them is because they were in Nongoma on a daily basis, and that is the reason why he asked them to get for him the suspect. And according to the J50 he provided to him, the suspect was Qiniselani Begimtinta Buthelezi. Now, with a few days, because they had an informer that was around the area, so the informer gave them information that the person that they were looking for, he pointed to them. He was a little bit far, but then he said that is the person he pointed and said that this is the person you're looking for. So Ramasipili asked him, the J50 warrant of arrest for Warrant Officer Mtolo's Beta, was it in respect of which case? And Khumalo said that it was in respect of a murder case that took place in 2016 and in the area of Nongoma. And Khumalo was asked to proceed. He said then them as members of the team or members of the combat, it was NIU and TRT. Then they rushed to the suspect and apprehended him. So after arresting him, the suspect was found in possession of a firearm. Upon questioning him, he failed to show or produce a license to possess such, and as a result, the suspect was then taken to Nongoma police station. He was processed there, and consequently, he appeared in court for possession of unlicensed firearm. Mr. Anonymous, I think you can allow some of the calls in
That's
between.
my phone.
Oh, it's personal stuff.
It's personal stuff, but someone from your subscribers is calling my phone.
Guys, try the other numbers, please. Those ones, they're no longer being used anymore.
Let's continue.
Then Ramasipili said in relation to the Nongoma case 16310 of 2018, were there any other additional charges except for the firearm offenses for which Mr. Qiniselani Buthelezi was arrested? And Khumalo said, not at all, my lord. He was charged in possession of firearm and ammunition. Now, Ramasipili said, during my interaction with you in preparation of you coming to testify in this honorable court, I requested you to bring along the original case docket of Nongoma case 16310 of 2018. And Ramasipili said after consulting with Mnisi there a bit, he said just one aspect, this possession of unlawful firearm of Qiniselani Buthelezi, what case number is that? And Kumalo said it's Nongoma 163 10 of 2018. Ramasipili said you've testified that you are in possession of the original Nongoma case 163 10 of 2018. Now here's the issue. Sergeant Mofani.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good evening. I'm good, thanks. Sorry, guys, to call in before. Yeah, I just wanted to chip in there. I have been following a couple of cases, and the judge that we have for the Senzo Meyiwa trial is so appalling. I think he is just stepping onto the arena himself. I think there was one defense lawyer that said it previously that he is actually stepping into the arena, and he is doing it so evidently. He is not even hiding it. And I've got a couple of concerns that I have, which I think Munisi tried to address on one of his objections, because he is not ruling on the objections, he's just like listening, which therefore, like if it goes to appeal, there won't be any ruling that can be said against it. So I think the defense lawyers need to continue asking him to rule on those objections, because he's just keeping quiet on most of them and not ruling. I think with the case that is open like this, and he is also saying that everything is being exposed, and what they did is also getting exposed, because he's coming up with these 1965 issues that cases will not be registered. We are now in the 21st century era that cases have to be registered for ease of reference, for tracking purposes. And I'm not sure, I do not study law, but I believe that if a case is finalized, it becomes public record. So if that case, the Nongoma case was finalized, that means that it's now public record.
Yes.
Why is he saying that what was the word that he used?
Confidential.
It's confidential. How is that confidential if it's something that is public record? It's so I don't know what that means. We just need to get to a point where he steps out from the arena and lets the case be exposed as it is that they fabricated. Ngomezulu said it previously that they cooked the case. And the cooking is now coming out. Imbiza, say be like a munch. It's now showing that whatever they were cooking is now like coming out to be uneatable, and they need to face the consequences of whatever they did. You must not step into the arena. That's all.
No, thank you, Sebong. Right. Amen. Kubek.
Well, Ramasipili said you've testified that you are in possession of the original Nongoma case 16310 of 2018. Now, here's the issue. Sergeant Mokhan and Brigadier Gininda testified that such a docket was in their possession, which is the unit headed by Brigadier Gininda, the National Cold Case Unit. Do you know anything about that? And Kumalo said, no, my lord. What I can say is that this case has never been a cold case. It was ongoing from 2018 up until it was finalized. There are actual cold cases in the country. Why are they not dealing with them? Why are they always hijacking other people's ongoing cases and investigations?
Yes, I don't know. And I've been saying this, Uguti. I think they pick a wrong case. They pick a wrong case to nail these people. You can't pick a case that is in KZN. Considering what the KZN police are putting up front as this fight against the whole SAPS, it is not going to be easy for you to just walk and tell them what to do. It is not going to happen. You know, you can have people in Joburg and other provinces coming to actually clean their site, but trying to protect there and there. The KZN police I don't see them doing that. Those that are reporting under General Mkwanas, I don't see them doing that. You know, I said it, if you remember, if you've been following, I said it.
You did
it's a wrong.
Leave them KZN police alone.
If you start cooking, remember
Leave them
to
alone.
take out the pieces of the meat that are coming from KZN.
Yes.
Because you are going to suffer there. You know, you are going to suffer, you see, the difference between all these police that have been called by Ramsipil, the other ones are trying there and there to be nice.
But
they, you know,
somehow they are compromised.
Yeah, they cannot fully say it out loud. You know, they like there is no cell phone that was found in a cell, but they cannot say that. You know, Joburg, the KZN, the one that is testifying now, he says it.
A spade is
Clearly,
a
he's
spade.
even asking questions.
Yes.
Why on earth do you take that person for investigation if you were taking this person to KZN? You know, that answer is not given. The judge tries, is found wandering also, is found short, he fails. That's the difference. That is the difference. You know, right now, they are in a mood of fighting. You can't use KZN people. No. Only if they are in Joburg and they grew up from their mother's side, they miss their fathers.
Yeah, when I think about it, he's been at it. Remember as Senzo Meyiwa testifying about an April who was taken before a magistrate at KZN.
And the KZN magistrate did what?
Dismissed and kicked him out.
Get this person out of here before I arrest all of you.
For lying. And they ran out of the court. He's been at it with KZN. Doesn't he understand that
No,
cops,
he's
they
not
are
going to have the
different?
grip that he wants.
They're different. They're not the ones he's used to in Gauteng.
Not when Ndonga is still alive. No. Not when Ndonga is still calling the shots. No.
Well, Ramasipili said where there's been a stage where the docket was removed from your control and possession by any unit other than the unit that you were working for. And Kumalo said, my lord, what I can elaborate, since the suspect in this matter was also a suspect on another murder case, it was taken and joined to this murder where the accused had a J50. So Greniselani had a J50 for another murder case that Warrant Officer Ntolo was handling. And then when they went to arrest him or execute this J50, that's when they found him with possession of illegal firearm and ammunition. And he said it was 16 rounds. So they added that charge of illegal firearm and no, they didn't add the charge. They opened a new charge for possession of illegal firearm as well as ammunition. And they consolidated it with the murder charge with the J50 warrant that they had executed coming from Warrant Officer Ntolo's investigation.
Yeah.
So Ramasipili said, let's simplify it, Colonel. The firearm was found in possession. Okay, I just simplified it. We can move on. So he asked him, so on top of your head, would you recall the case number from Tolo's investigation case? What case number was it? And he said it was Nongoma 410 of 12/2016. And they asked him, now, how's your explanation, if I correctly understand, is that Nongoma 16310 of 2018 and Nongoma 410 were consolidated together and they went to court together as one and the same. And he said, that's correct, Kumal. Then Ramasipili said, to which court were these matters dealt with? And it was dealt in the Second High Court in Tunzini. And in light of the proposition that I've put to you that Brigadier Gininda and Sergeant Mohani say that they also have a docket, Nongoma case 16310 of 2018, do you know perhaps if Lieutenant Colonel there was a duplicate docket because we are still going to get to the meat of this, but I want to find out from you if there's a duplicate docket for the Nongoma case 16310 of 2018, which is in possession of firearm case, and Nongoma case 16310 of 2018, which is a murder case. Kumalo said, my lord, there is no duplicate for this matter unless if Brigadier got the copies, I don't know. But the duplicate is only the original, only. And Ramasipili said, and have you ever had sight of the National Cold Case Unit's version of the docket that they have under Nongoma case 16310 of 2018? Kumalo said, not at all, my lord, because this matter has never been a cold case. Ramasipili said, do you have the original sheet of the Nongoma case 16310 of 2018 within that docket that you have? And Kumalo said, no, I don't have the original charge sheet. I have the docket. The charge sheet, I edited it at court. And then Ramasipili said, within the docket that, it has the case administration from the system, Nongoma case 16310 of 2018, does it have any suspect by the name of Bongani Sandiso Ntanzi? And Kumalo said no, it was only one suspect, the one that they found with a firearm. And Ramasipili said, does that docket contain any witness statement implicating Bongani Sandiso Ntanzi? Kumalo said, not at all, my lord. The statements that are there are the statements for policemen only. There's not even a single witness who mentioned the name of Ntanzi. Yeah. So I remember Ntanzi in his evidence when he was being led by Ramasipilo, was it under cross-examination by the state, where he said there are no police officers that have come for him ever since he got arrested from Nongoma. He's never attended any Nongoma matter. There hasn't been police officers that have come to him even at Koshimampuru to inquire about him being implicated in a Nongoma case.
There will be no police that will ever come with that nonsense. It does not exist.
It doesn't exist. Now they want Mshololo to
does
water
not
down.
Exist. Now we have a judge that is playing around like a smallanyana mouse. Move this way, move this direction. It's someone who's just abusing, in my opinion, the laws that we have. The experience you were gaining, I don't know whether it's for you to abuse the laws that we have. I mean, how do you explain the situation like this? You have been working, and what does it mean? So you've been sitting on cases that don't have case numbers. And which are those cases that don't have case numbers that you set on?
The way he's defending.
What are you saying, Mtomdala? What are you saying? I mean, at your age, you are doing this. At your age, you are playing around. He
doesn't care.
Aye, man.
He doesn't
and
care.
I must say this, and I hope it happens. Mshololo is not wrong.
She's not.
This thing of doing this and then coming back and apologizing, it makes this judge, and he never apologizes.
No, he never apologized. He'll be forcing apologies out from the defense.
Don't apologize. You are not wrong. There's nothing wrong on what you said.
In the morning, he will be expecting an apology.
Don't. Even if they call you in chambers and say, let's do this and whatnot, don't. It sends a bad taste message to us, because we know what you are saying is
It's
actually
true.
correct. And if you keep on apologizing, a person who's doing it, an 80-year-old, will not necessarily see that I'm actually wrong. So please, don't play with our hearts.
As for I'm older than your father.
Don't play with our hearts. You must not apologize. The court must continue as usual. The judge had nasty words to say, so as Mshololo, in a nice way, retaliated properly. And there's nothing wrong in what she said.
There's absolutely
Don't
nothing
apologize
wrong.
when I'm Mshololo.
Then Ramasipili said, now, Lieutenant Colonel, let's go deeper into this aspect. I'll give you for the sake of background so that we can be on the same page. What has been testified here in court regarding the Nongoma case 16310 of 2018, and then Sergeant Mohani testified that he started investigating the Nongoma case 16310 of 2018 from January 2020. Do you know anything about that? And Kumalo said no. And it seems here that there has been an acknowledgement, or rather how would one describe it? This case was still ongoing. It hadn't been concluded yet. He gave the date out to be the 25th of March 2022 when the case was officially finalized. But here it seems like there was an attempt to hijack this case from him, if really Mohani was any bit of serious about implicating Tanzi here, because the case had not yet been finalized, and here he was claiming that from 2020 he's been investigating with whom, what, and why, while you're not even taking to the lead IO of this case that you seem to wanted to hijack.
To show how ruthless, in my opinion, these people are. It's on freaking public television. It is playing live. As an IO who investigated this case of 163 of
10 of
2018, you are watching people lie on you. You are watching people lie on the case that you investigated. Other police in KZN who have this docket because it went back to Nongoma.
Yes.
They are watching and they are like, the hell? What the hell?
Yeah.
I would imagine someone in the morning will come and say, can you please check this case they are talking about on TV? They're saying it's coming from Nongoma. Mzansi, hello.
Hey, Mr. Anna, how are you? How are you?
I'm all right, sir.
Sister Emily, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm phoning from Jordan.
Yes.
I think the problem is the confession. Judge Rata, that is where his problem is. Because he accepted the confession. You understand?
Yes.
Now with this evidence that is coming out now, it throws everything into the bin. So now he's trying to find a way in which he can try to reconcile this, like the way he was behaving today. He tried to intimidate that guy, I think 3 times today. He tried to intimidate him, trying to make him change his statement, And the guy was standing his ground. And it was an embarrassment. Really, it was an embarrassment. In fact, it was disgusting. You understand?
Yes.
And I wonder what the judge president, if he was watching,
don't
I
tell
think
me
he would
about
be
those
upset.
people. Don't even start.
It's so embarrassing. This is on national television, and this thing is being worldwide.
Yes.
And with the judge, Mshololo said it very well. Even if it is too hard for you to swallow, a fact is a fact. The case does not exist, period.
They lied to you.
If the case was finalized,
They lied to you.
if the case was finalized, why is it not on the system? Why?
Because it's what we call it. It's a classified case.
No.
So it doesn't
Even
show.
if it's classified,
Only the police can
that's
see.
a lie.
Did you hear the explanation? Only the police can see it. So the guy who's testifying is not the police. That's how it's.
You know what?
Yeah.
He said to the guy, do you know that this could be danger? I think that guy for a while said, like, Jesus, what is this guy talking about? I think I think Mshololo should ask the judge as a matter of law, can you give me the law that stipulates what you're saying? Can you support your statement by law?
The same way he was pushing Nongoma.
Yes.
Exactly.
Ignoring the facts and the
pushing
obvious that Ngumalo mentioned, that you allowed Bobalo to do the very same thing.
Yes, to quote from diaries.
Exactly. And then, he ignored it as this, like, you never did that. As the law is the law. I stick to the law. That guy disgusts me.
Disgusting. Thank you.
It's
appalling what we are watching there. It's like we are watching an acted series. Can't believe that we are subjected to such mediocre in the broad daylight. What kind of a case is this? High court. It's a kangaroo court.
Well, Ramasipili said,
where people change his personality. If they want their prosecutors, if they want their judges, if they want their fathers that are old.
Don't remind me. He enters that arena, that one. He's a special one. He enters deep inside the arena. Refereeing, doing everything that you can think of in the pitch inside. Well, Ramasipili says Sergeant Mokhane and Brigadier Ginida testified that they discovered this case 16310 of 2018 amongst others of the cases that they said that Bongani Ntanzi was involved during their profiling of Bongani Sandiso Ntanzi. And Sergeant Mokhane testified further that the Nongoma case 16310 of 2018 and other alleged cases that Mr. Ntanzi was allegedly involved in were allocated to him for investigation by Brigadier Ginida. Do you have any knowledge of Sergeant Mokhane being tasked by Brigadier Ginida to investigate Bongani Sandiso Ntanzi on the Nongoma case 16310 of 2018 for murder? And Kumalo said, I have no idea, my lord. 163 is not a murder case, it's possession. And furthermore, there's a system in the police that they call a case administration system. So this case administration system can show that this case never moved from anywhere until its finalization. So if Mokhane or Sergeant Mokhane says he was investigated, but on the system it doesn't show that. And then Ramasipili said, I'm so glad that you raised the issue of the case administration system. The case administration system is going to take you through that at length so that we get to the bottom of this in due course. But at the moment, let us finalize these points. As an investigating officer of Nongoma case 16310 of 2018, were you at any stage contacted by Brigadier Ginida or Sergeant Mokhane to discuss this case or to obtain copies of the docket in this matter? And Kumalo said, my lord, at one stage I was approached by General Kumalo, who is now head of crime intelligence nationally, but by then, he was the one who was in charge of PKTT. So he asked me to meet Brigadier Ginida because Brigadier Ginida wanted to have information on this case of 163 regarding the suspect. Now, Ramasipili asked which suspect in particular was Brigadier Ginida interested on in that Nongoma case 16310 of 2018. And Kumalo said it's Qiniselani Buthelezi. The very same Qiniselani that now Brigadier Ginida is claiming not to know in his testimony. So he wanted to find...
When was this, this meeting?
Oh, he said it later on. He said around 2021, 2022.
So Kumalo was still with the PKTT in KZN in 2021, 2022?
Yeah, I think so. Because he got to be head of crime intelligence around 2024. If I'm not mistaken. It's just I have to Google to verify. But I think so. He was still head of PKTT. 2021, 2022. Because he's saying he was sick at the time. He was on leave. So yeah, let me quickly continue.
Yes.
So he wanted to find out how he was arrested. How was the firearm? According to me, he wanted to find out whether this firearm that we found with him is not linking somewhere in their matter. I don't know what matter he was referring to, but he wanted to check whether this firearm is not linking into their matter. So he also wanted to find out if the firearm cannot be linked to Senzo's case in Samari. He said when we met him, I think it was King Shaka Airport, because he was also waiting for a flight. So he only took the lab number, if I can remember correctly, because he wanted to do a comparison with ballistics so that, that was a very short meeting and we separated. So Khumalo said he can't remember correctly, but he received a call from Sergeant Mohani. By then he was already at Nongoma, so he was coming to look for the same docket of 16310 of 2018. So when they got into the case system, it was discovered that the case is with him, Khumalo, Colonel Khumalo, as an IO. So Umukhani asked him to provide him with the copies of the same docket of Nongoma 16310 of 2018. And Ramasipili asked him if he did oblige him with the copies, and Khumalo said, no, my lord, I told him that the docket was with Advocate Gaba, because by then it was on the trial stage at High Court. So I provided him with the number of Gaba to provide him with and arrange with him. And Ramasepeli said, and you wouldn't know whether the two interacted and what transpired between them. Is that correct? And Khumalo said, I did learn later that they did communicate and they met. Khumalo confirmed to Ramasepeli that this is the same Advocate Gaba that was at the Johannesburg High Court at some stage. He's also on the AKA case.
Yeah,
He's also on Fidel Adams' case. There was quite a viral clip of him not so long ago narrating Fidel Adams' videos that he was making on social media. It was very entertaining.
So PKTT seems to be working with this man.
Gaba, Advocate Gaba. It seems.
Yeah.
But then, what made Advocate Gaba to be so compelled to give a whole Mohani out of all people copies of this docket of 16310 of
He's an NPA person.
Mm-hmm.
Does that answer you?
Oh, maybe they referenced and they're like, it's wanted by the
I
NPA.
can imagine.
Because Mohani has nothing to do with this case.
Listen to this. I can imagine a certain call would have came. Hello, Advocate. Advocate Gaba. Look, we just would like to send you someone. He's not gonna take that docket. We just wanna have a copy also, so that we can see what we can do in our side. If you feel that this might disturb you in your case, you can call Judge Gooch and see what we can do. But please, that person who's gonna be coming there with the state car, please make sure that you assist that person. My friend, I will owe you one if you can do that. So you get what I'm saying. You get the gist. Yeah, and
I
then
get the gist.
Then you'd imagine a person such as then will be able to have access to that person.
Yeah, okay, bye.
Yeah.
Valid. Well, Ramasipili said Sergeant Mohani testified and was speaking specifically in relation to the arrest of Mr. Ntanzi. He stated that on the 16th of June 2020, he attended upon Pokeng, but it is Freedom Park Phase 2, Rustenburg. They attended upon the residence where Mr. Ntanzi was hiring. They found Mr. Ntanzi, introduced themselves. Well, Ramasipili should scratch this because I don't think they introduced themselves, and told him that they were there to arrest him on the Nongoma matter, which happens to be this Nongoma case 16310 of 2018. And he says that when he arrested Bongani Ntanzi, he told him, "We are arresting you regarding the Nongoma case," and he was a suspect in the case of murder in Nongoma where a firearm was found. Does this accord with your investigation of the Nongoma case 16310 of 2018? That is a murder case and a firearm was found. Well, Kumalo said, "My lord, this is not a murder case, and it is, in this case, it is possession, and there's no suspect by the surname of Ntanzi. In this case, it's only Buthelezi." Here I started picking up that, you know what, the judge is starting to look uneasy. He's starting to look restless. So Ramasipili then said, as of the 16th of June 2020, were you still seized with the investigation of Nongoma case 16310 of 2018? And Kumalo said, yes, by 2018 it was then a court-driven matter. By 2020, my apologies, by 2020 it was a court-driven matter. By that time it was not transferred to the High Court. It was still going to District Court by the year 2020. Now Ramasipili asked then if and as of the 16th of June 2020, was this Nongoma case docket 16310 of 2018 still under your direct control and possession? And Kumalo said, by the year 2020, I think it was with Mtolo. Remember in 2020 June, I was sick for almost 6 months. I came back in January of 2021. So around that January of 2021 is when now he was started by the cold case unit and they were asking for the copy. Via Mkhan. Was then now when they started contacting him when he came back after he was sick. He said he was sick around 2020. So he came back January 2021 to work. So Ramasipili said,
so here's the question. How did they investigate the so-called lies that were written in that confession of accused number one? When? Because 2021, this case would have hasn't started.
It starts at 2022.
Okay. All right.
2021, they appeared in October at Boksburg Magistrate Court, and then trial began somewhere around April 2022.
Okay.
And then De Novo was in September 2022.
Okay, let's continue.
Ramasipili then said, but according to your general knowledge, either from Officer Mtolo on the investigation of this matter, were you aware that a suspect was arrested in the Northwest Province, Rustenburg, in respect of the same case number, Nongoma case 16310 of 2018 for a murder charge? Well, Kumalo said there was no other suspect that was arrested specifically in this one or this case of Nongoma 16310 of 2018, except the initial suspect, which was Buthelezi. And then Ramasipili said, earlier I asked you whether there was an original charge sheet in the docket, and I'll tell you the reason why I wanted to find out whether there's any notation on that charge sheet, but unfortunately you don't have it. But I'll complete this question, whether there was a recordal or reflection of the notation that Sergeant Mohane charged a Bongani Sandiso Ntanzi with murder on the 16th of June 2020 while Mr. Ntanzi was held at Pretoria North Police Station. Well, the judge now started to make his opinions known. He started saying now that he was arrested, or was he charged on those cases? And this felt like a leeway for Mohani.
Was he arrested or charged on those cases? That's a question.
It felt like a leeway for Mohani now to say, okay, I'm looking for escape for Mokhane because this situation is starting to look tricky. Then he asks, was he arrested or was he charged? Those are two different things. Ramasipili said, very well understood, my lord, but we, with due respect, will come to that. And then the judge said, we just want to know. And Ramasipili said, I believe there's an exhibit. I believe it's MN, which is an occurrence book for Pretoria North, where he says he charged Ntanzi. And then the judge said, but factually, was he charged? Factually. And Ramasipili said, I'm going to say what he said here in court. I'm not aware factually because the charge sheet is not there for us. And the judge said, yeah, because they appeared in Benoni. And Ramasipili said they appeared in Vosloorus. He doesn't even know what they appeared at. The judge said there was no charge except for the charge we are busy with. That's all for my understanding. That's all. And then Ramasipili said, yes, my lord, I'm not the custodian of that information. That information relies really on the shoulders of the state, my lord. We are going according to the allegations and versions that were made by Sergeant Mokhane in relation to this docket as it pertains to Mr. Ntanzi. That's a murder case that he personally charged Mr. Ntanzi. Ramasipili attended Ntanzi, who had raised his hand up at the back there. So he had to go to him to hear what instructions he was going to give him. When he came back, he said, on that point, Mr. Ntanzi has just reminded me that it was put to him by the state that on the 16th of June 2020, he was charged for the Nongoma case. And on the 26th of October 2020, he was then charged at Valeria for this particular one. There was another charge on the 20th of June of Primrose regarding the Tlhabane possession of unlawful ammunition. So we're going to do according to what was said here in court, my lord. Yeah. And I felt like this was also a disturbance in some form of way. But I'm glad this time around they don't quite work, these interruptions with Ramasipili, because he's able to pick up exactly where he left off.
You see why it is important, even though it is downplayed by the 80-year-old judge.
Yes.
It is important because what this is simple saying is that Ntanzi, when he was detained, the so-called confession was under duress. Do you understand?
Yes.
Here is the bogus case recreated, which does not exist. They are using the false case number of a different case, and then they say, no, you confess voluntarily. It cannot be.
It cannot be.
So this is why now the fight and the jumping is happening, because it kills the so-called confession. And without confession of Ntanzi, this case falls.
No case.
So now they are trying to find a way around this, and they are failing.
Sure.
They are failing very much so.
Yeah.
So that's why if you don't understand, that's why the questions as was he charged, the judge is relying on he was never charged for that. It was just an investigation.
Well, Mokhane,
so they want to reduce it into investigation, but the problem is that it went to court. So there are records, there are OB entries also that are happening while they detain this person, and then they investigate.
Charge sheet.
So that question of the person is in transito, why then do you wake up and investigate that person? It's actually killing the confession itself.
Hi. That is fine by me. That is fine by me. I don't mind at all. Well, now Kumalo said that procedurally in the SAPS, if you charge a person for a particular matter, you must be referred to page 5 of the docket. One of the things that are very, very important that must reflect on page 5 in the OB is cell register number as well as fingerprint number. That is proof that this person has been charged. So in this matter on page 5, we've only got one accused, one suspect, of course, which is Qaniselani. And then Ramasipili asked him that it may seem silly, but he's going to ask, and he said he has his own reasons why he's asking this for the Nongoma case 16310 of 2018. He asked him, did you have any outstanding suspects in relation to the charge? And Kumalo said, not at all. And as of 16 June 2020, how far have the investigations of that matter progressed? And Kumalo said that it has progressed very well because the directives that were given to us we complied with them up until the matter was later transferred to the High Court. Now, Ramasipili said, continuing with Sergeant Mogani's testimony here in court, he says Ntanzi was arrested at Freedom Park in Rustenburg. He's then transferred to the Pretoria North Police Station. And on the 16th of June 2020, at the Pretoria North Police Station, he makes an entry into the SAP-10 or the occurrence book that Mr. Ntanzi is held in transito in respect of the Nongoma case 16310 of 2018. Do you want to comment on that? Well, Kumalo said, well, I cannot canvass. We've got only one suspect in this matter. So Ramasipili said, can you just explain to us what your understanding is when the entry was made into the occurrence book that a suspect is held in transito in this respect, or in this instance for the Nongoma case 16310 of 2018? What does it mean? And Kumalo said, my lord, it means that the suspect is a suspect of Nongoma. So he's in transit to Nongoma to be charged and appear in Nongoma. They were keeping him just to sleep over. Then tomorrow they would continue with their journey to Nongoma, where he will be officially charged. For the mere fact that Ntanzi never appeared at Nongoma, what does that mean?
It means that the case was fabricated.
Ramasipili then said, and you say the suspect is entered into transito because he's a suspect on Nongoma, but in this instance, that was your investigation, Nongoma 16310 of 2018. Wasn't Ntanzi a suspect in your matter? And Kumalo said, not at all. And then Mogani testified further to say that they booked Ntanzi at around 22:45 on the 16th of June 2020 at Nongoma in transito. On the 17th, he's removed from the cells. He's taken to a boardroom where, amongst others of the alleged cases that he's involved in, he's asked in particular about the Nongoma murder case and the Phosphorus murder case, which is the current case which is before this honorable court. Is this still your testimony that there's no murder charge according to your investigation in the Nongoma case 16310 of 2018? And Kumalo said, yes, there's no murder, it's possession. So after the short adjournment, Ramasipili asked, did you tell Brigadier Gininda the case pertains solely to a firearm and it was not a murder investigation? Kumalo said that that was correct. Ramasipili corrected himself and said that Ntanzi actually reminded him that he was charged at Pretoria North and not Valeria for this matter of Senzo. Ramasipili handed him the original OB register from Pretoria North SAPS starting on the 16th of June 2020. He asked Colonel Kumalo to read an entry pertaining to this investigation. Now, Colonel Kumalo read, this is an entry that was on the 16th of June 2020, Tuesday. The entry was made at 22:42 in transito. Detective Sergeant Mogani of National Cold Case Unit with one male suspect on Nongoma case 16310 of 2018. Bongani Ntanzi of SAP 14. Time of arrest was 2200 hours with no injuries. Contact number is that of Sergeant Mogani. He actually left 2 cell phone numbers and 13803 cell phone numbers were read into the record. So Ramasipili then said, now, just on this entry alone, you've testified that if indeed the suspect was held in transito, it was on a temporary basis to be transferred to Nongoma because he's got a case to answer to in Nongoma, and that case will be 16310 of 2018. And according to your further testimony this morning, you said that Mr. Ntanzi was not a person of interest or a suspect in your matter in relation to 163 of 2018. Now I've handed you another exhibit, a notice of rights. Take this court through why a notice of rights will be issued to a suspect in relation to a particular matter. Well, Kumalo said, thank you, my lord. The SAP 14A is a receipt that is handed to every arrested person before he's issued. An IO has to explain his rights and the charges against him. So after reading all that is listed here, and the arrested person will confirm and sign that he or she understood. So that was the case, or that was the case in this matter, where I think Sergeant Mohani completed this and issued it to Bongani Ntanzi. The case number is on top of the charge there. It's murder. Now recall that with pertaining to the Nongoma case, the Phosphorus case, any other case except for that one from Tlhabane, did Ntanzi receive any of copies of his SAP 14 for those many charges that were trumped up against him. The only one that he received the charge sheet for was the Tlhabane one, which ultimately got, was it dismissed? The 1-year ammunition.
Yes, it was.
So Ramasipili said, you've also stated that the offense noted there is murder. And he said, that's correct. Let me move back to the occurrence book. The entry of the 18th of June. Similar entry. It was a Thursday. It was made at 8:15. Investigative duty on. Detective Sergeant Mohani, one male suspect, out to Nongoma case 16310 of 2018. And Ramasipili asked, what I want to confirm, Kenal, is do you do all investigations in relation to the arrest of Mr. Ntanzi during this time, the 16th, the 18th? You'll see later on that on the 19th, it's in relation to the Nongoma case 16310 of 2018. According to the register, the OB, and Ramasipili then went on to ask, let's go to the next entry. So he went through all the entries of Mohani booking Ntanzi under the Nongoma case. And then ultimately, Kumalo expressed that he was a little bit confused. He asked, how is it possible that a Nongoma case, a person must appear here in Gauteng instead of appearing in Nongoma where the crime was committed? If there was a crime that was committed, but maybe the court will get to that, but I'm a little bit confused. Ramasipili said, I'm also baffled as you are. And the judge says, sorry, the evidence here is very clear. It was in transito. He was supposed to be delivered to Nongoma to face trial there. But the prosecutor in Boxback or Phosphorus or whatever you want to call it refused to place it on the roll. Is this true?
It's a lie.
False.
It's a lie. The one that was strike off the roll is that one of ammunition.
Yes.
No, it's
the one of illegal substances.
Illegal substances. Yes. It's a lie.
Well, the judge said, are you with me? So he was not going to appear in Johannesburg or Gauteng. He was going to appear in Nongoma. When did Mohani say that? When did Brigadier Gininda himself say that?
It's not Mohani. It's experience that is speaking. It's experience is speaking.
Wait,
they went and fetched this man for experience.
But whom? Why Debala? He's actually forgetting sometimes that he's a judge. He said he was going to appear in Nongoma. That's the evidence in this court. But it's not. It's not the evidence in this court. We are all perplexed and wondering, where do you get this from? Because that's not the evidence that Mohani gave, no Brigadier Gininda gave, that they were on their way to Nongoma. They said no such a thing. None. None at all. Well, Kumalo said, thanks, my lord. And Ramasipili continued and said, as the court pleases, I'm indebted. He's learned, or rather, let's say, he's nonchalant. Ramasipili is no longer shaken. That's very raw, right? By the way, I am impressed with this particular witness. I am so impressed with Ramasipili. He's so calm, cool and collected. He said, that is what I was coming to explain to you as we wrap the first entry, as it says in transito in respect of the Nongoma case. But the evidence also is led in this case, that is that they were taking Tanzi to go and appear in Vosloorus in respect of the Nongoma 163 matter. But when they got to Vosloorus, Mohani says, I've got it here. He wrote it in his notes. He said Nongoma was really far away. Then they decided to place the illegal substance case on the matter, which the prosecutor refused to place on the roll. So they wanted to embed this Nongoma case with the possession of illegal substances case at Vosloorus. And the prosecutor said no.
They wanted to smash them together.
Kanjani
and
manje?
Recreate a new case.
Kanjani manje ngoba the crime happened in Nongoma?
No, you can do that. Even the case of Kwanongoma, okay, it happened like that.
But it was one jurisdiction, was it not?
It went to Mtunzini. From Kwanongoma to Mtunzini, it jumped all the way from Nongoma.
Mtunzini was High Court.
Mtunzini is the High Court.
Yes, but it started at District Court in Nongoma.
Yes, it did.
I hate these people. Ramasipili asked him to read yet another entry. This one was, the first one is a cell visit that was made at 4 a.m. Visited by Constable Nebutumba and Constable Marelete. And he said that it's a cell visit of 2 members. The second entry was made at 4:50. Prisoners transferred. Today, Sergeant Mohan of the National Case Unit was with one male suspect of murder, Nongoma, case 163 of 6 of 2018, Bongani Tanzi. Well, there was an explanation for this mistake. They said it was an error of some sort. They said Mohani said it's an error. Well, Ramasipili said the 2 matters, the Nongoma case 16310 of 2018 and the other matter was investigated by Officer Mtolo. They were finalized So, Kumalo said 25th of March 2022 is when the matters were finalized. Ramasipili now went on to say, let's forget about the murder case, the Nongoma case 16310 of 2018 in relation to Mr. Buthelezi now. How was it finalized? And Kumalo said that it was finalized as guilty. And there's a judgment reflecting the finalization in the docket. He asked if it will be there or will it be somewhere else. And Kumalo said that there was an endorsement on the docket signed by the prosecutor. And how was it finalized in respect of Mr. Buthelezi, the possession of unlawful firearm? The sentence was 15 years imprisonment for possession of unlicensed firearm, but later on for the murder, he expressed that it was a life imprisonment. So Ramasipili said after finalization, then what happened to the case docket, Nongoma 16310 of 2018, and Kumalo said it was returned back to us, to me in fact, the IO, and then I did the updating on the system, and then the matter was then archived accordingly. And Ramasipili said, do you know who filed the closure for that docket? And Kumalo said, I was the one who updated it and closed it on the system. Then I signed it. Then I took it back to the original station, which is no more. And then Ramasipili said, Sergeant Mohani testified that so far as the Nongoma case 16310 of 2018 is concerned in relation to Mr. Ntanzi, there are investigations. The murder investigations are not complete. Do you want to comment on that? Well, Kumalo said, I don't have any comment because I know nothing about the murder case that he was talking about. I only know of this one that he was talking about. This one of ammunition and possession of a firearm where the suspect is Qiniselani. Furthermore, when we went to the archives, no one has ever taken it from the station to do any other investigation.
All this, the stupidity of all this. This case is about one person. It's like me stealing Norox at Shoprite, and then next thing you find out you are part of that case also. How can you be part of that? Because I'm the one who was caught stealing Norox. I was not seen running away when you were not seen running away when we were caught at the scene and all that. It's one person who was found with the ammunition and a gun. How can you be this foolish though? How can you? One person was found with the gun.
Yes.
One person.
Yes.
No friend ran away. In fact, Ramsipri should ask, I don't when you caught this guy because you were there, no friend you saw running away that might be purported as dance.
Maybe.
Did you see any friend running away? Maybe stuff like that. Then the cold case was able to crack down this case maybe through the person that you arrested.
Maybe.
You know, did you see any friend running away from the scene when you were arresting this guy? Or did you see any friend who had a gun and gave it to you as they saw the police and he ran away? I mean, what can you do with this judge? This person was pointed alone. No one was around that person.
No.
But alone. I think though they must try to find to emphasize that part. When you arrested this man,
he was alone.
Was he alone? No friend fled the scene that you couldn't find.
Well, he said no one has ever taken it from the station to do any other investigation except for me. Before I came to this court, I went to Nongoma and then I took it from the archives and then I came here with it. He did this exactly last week, Thursday. So even then, when he looked at it on the system, ain't no Mohani there.
We are 700 short of the likes that we are supposed to be at. We have 724 people watching. But we are 724 off, I must say.
Now, Ramasipili said, have you received any indictment from the DPP in KZN or the DPP in Gauteng charging Bongani Ntanzi with murder on that docket? Kumalo said, I never received any indictment. Ramasipili said, let me ask you this bluntly as I can. If a suspect is arrested for murder, he's charged for that murder, he's held in custody for that murder, he's questioned about the murder, but he then never been brought before a judicial office in respect of that murder. What does that say about the legality or lawfulness of the arrest that the suspect in the matter? And then Kumalo says, simply it is unlawful. But then Sibanda objected and said, I understand Colonel before court is a colonel in the South African Police Service. He's not a judicial officer to make such a determination.
It doesn't need a judicial officer to say unlawful. If Jesus,
they're trying to say the witnesses did not see the firearm, they don't know. They are not experts of firearms.
If the police do not know what is lawful and unlawful, how can they effect the arrest?
Job.
If they are that dumb,
how do they effect arrests? How do they know?
Because from where I sit, the job of a court is not to determine whether it's unlawful or lawful.
Yes.
The job of a court is to find out if the evidence given against the unlawful the police claim you did, is it enough, plausible, and then find you guilty or not guilty. That's the
Yes.
job of the courts, to find you guilty or not guilty based on the evidence that has been laid in front of it. Oh, well, some courts, at least, let's say some court, because to others, it doesn't matter. You are guilty as you enter the court, and it finishes like that.
Ramosipili said, "My lord, I've heard the colonel's answer. He said it's unlawful. You know that's not a competent answer," is what the judge said. And then Ramosipili said he'll withdraw it. The judge seemed to be very much in agreement with Sibanda. He said, I'm just saying, we all know that he's not a judicial officer.
The judicial officer does not. I'm not even Googling this. It's from my brain. Like, I'm thinking, judicial officers are not there to declare what is legal and what is illegal. That is done by the constitutions and everything that we have, and it's done. Their job is to find out whether you are actually found guilty for what they say you did that is illegal. That is their job.
Well, Ramosipili now went to the case administration system. He asked, does the case administration system as we speak today, not in 2016, does it reflect that there's a murder charge against Mr. Ntanzi in relation to the Nongoma case 16310 of 2018? Khumalo said no. And then the judge now interrupted and said, sorry, before you proceed, are you aware of something called the South African Secrets Act?
What a great word. Bombastic. Secret Act.
He said where they store, amongst others, the unfinished cases or stale cases, and Khumalo said he's not aware of it. The judge said the unit which is this guy was part of.
Unfinished cases. Dummy. Unfinished. If it's there, if it does exist. Stale cases, unfinished cases. What does this one have that is different from what you've just mentioned now? It has a tick of a finished case.
Yes. It's finished. Finalized. Well, Ramosipili said the cold case unit, the judge said, yeah, okay, I've heard about the cold case unit. And then he said to the witness, are you referring to the same thing Mr. Ramosipili is referring to, or a different one? Well, Khumalo said, no, I think it's a different one. And then the judge said, that's the point, yeah, because the one this court had to deal with was said by Mohani that in terms of the Official Secret Act, nobody has access to it unless you are a policeman. Are you with me?
Did you hear that? I thought I heard it alone. Unless you are a policeman.
Unless if you are a policeman.
And the police is right there on the stand. On the stand, right there.
Well, he said,
Laura, thank you very much. God bless you. Press the like button, guys. This is just a reminder.
Hey, I don't know where
I'm
we
telling
are
you,
going.
if you tell this to someone who just woke up from death,
they'll say you're lying.
they'll say you are lying.
There's no way a judge behaves like this. Udamanga. I think they'll have to see it for themselves. They'll have to see it. My body will see. And then he said, I'm with you, my lord. And the judge said, that's it. Do you remember, Mr. He was looking at Nongoma. Nongoma said, I'm just trying to follow what the court is trying to say. I'm just trying to follow. Well, the judge said the docket, which you were reading here, which was brought by Mr. Mgomezulu somehow, he got it from some policeman. Remember, a page, it was in this court, and then it issued an order that the councils here, shouldn't have access to it, but I found you reading it, all of you. Mbala said, I'm referring to that. That is what Mr. Kininda said he was busy with. That these cases are all over and they have taken them together to form a unit of them. Well, Ramosipili said, firstly, what Mr. Mgomezulu brought was an extract from the case system in respect of 163. This one, not any Secret Service Act, whatever the court is mentioning. It was in respect of this. Mokgani then said Ntanzi is involved in several other matters, and then he brought that list. I'm doing this in parcel because these issues shouldn't bother us that much, because otherwise we'll have to call those IOs like this one and then we find out other things. Mokgani except says so that Bongani Ntanzi is involved in this matter. He has never produced a single document or a single case system. The judge said, yeah, that's not the problem. And then Ramasipili said, I'm asking about the case system. He then returned to Colonel Khumalo and asked him, in fact, I'm going to challenge you over lunchtime. You are a police officer. There's a central police station in Durban, or in Pretoria Central, actually, not Durban, my apology. In Pretoria Central, it's not even far from that high court. It's like a 5-minute walk, actually. He said, I can accompany you, extract the case system on Mr. Ntanzi's ID and come back to court and show this court whether Mokgani said that he has got 5 other matters registered against him is reflected like in this case system of the SAPS. And the judge then went quiet. It was silent.
Because they're telling him exactly. Zozo Mahlang Raja is not a judge. Allegedly, he made me so angry. Sekungamahlala khona kithi. Yabo. Umuthi esudla nje every day awusasibabeli. Sesiyazi nabo Ramasipili yababona nje ukuthi awusababona lo muntu.
Like this.
It's a norm. Pele ongababa.
Yeah. Ayikhona kunzima guys, kunzima ukubona ijudge.
Because he was told ukuthi hayibo phela sosuke siwabheka lama case. God bless you. By the way, Zozo Mahlang, thank you. Nkulunkulu abusise.
Thank you.
He was told ukuthi no, phela we can do it in a simpler way. We can just go check this thing out, we can just do it. It's not like it's a secret.
It's not. Now, Ramasipili said, now if Sergeant Mokgani, as he testified in this court that he was allocated this matter to investigate as of January 2020 by Brigadier Gininda, would it show somewhere else in the case administration system of the SAPS? And Khumalo said it will show if indeed that thing did happen.
You need to be careful when you answer these questions and be specific.
Ramasipili said, have you ever seen case 16310 of 2018? Any record at all that in this matter was transferred from yourself, your unit, to the National Cold Case Unit? And Khumalo said, I can say this, my lord, very confidently. So if a case has been transferred to another person, to another unit, when I was doing the update, it was going to refuse me to say that this case is no longer with you. For me, it was very easy to update up until I closed it on the system because it was still under my name. The judge looked pissed. I saw the his face, yeah. It was priceless. Ramasipili said, this is my last question.
No, you know why is also a secret service, a secret ngena ngaphi? Do you remember subsequently? Umzekazek, when he came to testify, he cautioned Nongoma Zulu, and the judge was, confidential. Now that's where the secret is coming from. That's why the question, comes from that all these cases about Ntanzi is this criminal that they even now doing his cases secretly.
Oh, yes.
Yes. But what Ramasipili is saying is that, okay, you can do them secretly. But if we go punch Ntanzi's ID there, it's not going to pull any of these cases. It's going to pull zero of these cases. Because, okay, we are just pulling cases that he has. We are not saying we want details of it. It's going to pull zero. That's why then Ulokuzan, Rata just kept quiet. Because he knows that it's gonna pull 0. So what they did was to put that thing, that balloon of saying, hey, this is a secret thing. You cannot access it.
Confidential.
Now, only to find that they also have a copy of the so-called one of the confidential cases they are saying. The original copy is apparently not confidential. And it's there in this court.
It even has a judgment.
It has a judgment. It even has notes and all that. Side notes. So Mngomezulu was actually reading that.
Yes.
From the CAS system. Yes. So what they did, because Mngomezulu did not obtain it in this manner, in a legal method, and they just upload to Ramsipil by bringing the IO for it, which then forced the IO to come with everything. So Bomzagazega ran and then they were like, we don't know how we got this. Hey,
you could be in a lot of trouble for doing that.
You remember that?
That is not supposed to be disclosed to the public.
Yes, we remember that. Now, the same disclosed, we are told now they have a copy because they are good in copying everything, allegedly.
Allegedly.
They take people's cases and copy them. Allegedly. The Shaban was here. Everything just changes now and then. So they tried to hijack this one again, allegedly. It did not work because when they were hijacking it, they hijacked the copy of the original thing. And the original thing came and it's not classified.
Has never been classified.
No, there's no classification there. Can you imagine classifying a copy that you were copied by when you were requesting that arrangement? You classify a copy. And then the original comes. It's not classified.
Nah.
It's like you giving an umbrella. Instead of using it, you are protecting it when the umbrella. The rain hits you. You are protecting the umbrella. You don't want it to get water. Only to find good. Actually, it was supposed to protect you. Exactly. That's what happened.
Yes.
So the real thing came. It's not classified. In fact, I'm disappointed in one of these defenses. And I'm hoping Mshololo asks it. Is this document classified? As per SAPS, is it classified? They talked classified there. It's classified. They talk classified. Yes. If they can ask, is this document classified? We were told that this is classified stuff.
Yeah.
If he says no, then we say, okay, that's a different case then. Because this one, we were told that Mngomezulu uzoboshwa. Vese into classified. They had to unclassify it. What did they call the word for it? For them to read it.
Declassified.
Only for their eyes, the judge. Hey, ngoba lo baba lo. Hey, lo baba lona. Ukuzothuywa for ilanda kusokusho into nje. Hey, only for your eyes. Now we are hearing it. It's our ears now. They are glued in this TV. We are hearing this whole classified nonsense.
Yeah. Aye.
We could be arrested the following day
for
hearing classified stuff
via the TV.
Asas. Kodwa nje sithule silalele siyabuka sithi, "Awu!
Ziyakhala." Well, he asked Kenel Khumalo for a comment. And lastly, which was the final question, Kumala said there's only one aspect here, my lord. There's an entry where the suspect who was detained at Pretoria North in Transito. So no one will expect that on the following day the suspect is taken to Nongoma because he is in transit to Nongoma case. But this one was never booked to Nongoma. Instead, he was booked for investigation. So I don't know how it happened, because you book a suspect here in Pretoria in Transito, one will expect tomorrow, to book him out, and I'm transporting him down to Nongoma. So I wouldn't get it right there, my lord. He was very confused about this aspect of evidence. So Ramasipili said on that aspect, Lieutenant Colonel, thank you for raising it. I must be fair to you as a witness that came to this court to know the full picture. As we sit here today from the 16th of June 2020 to date, Mr. Ntanzi has never been questioned by officers from Nongoma regarding that matter. He has never been transferred to Nongoma regarding that matter. He's never appeared in any court in Nongoma in respect of that matter. And Kumalo said, yeah, that is true. I was the first person to know as the IO.
He would be the first person to know.
He would be the first person to know on the IO.
As the IO
on the 16310 of 2018. So now it was Mnisi's turn. Okay. He said that he was tempted to ask only one question, but of course it ended up being many more. It ended up being many more questions. Mnisi said, to me, I'm listening to a testimony, that which the state, through what Sergeant Mohani put on record, it seems there are two case numbers which were registered under Nongoma. There are two charges which were registered under Nongoma, case 16310 of 2018. The one being the charge of murder and the other one unlawful possession of firearm and ammunition. This says to me that there could have been some problems with possession of a firearm and ammunition, and this says to me that there could have been some problems with the duplication that was made by the system. How reliable is the system? And Kumalo said, from experience, the system cannot allocate one in the same case number in a different matter or in two different cases. Now, Nisi asked him, did you find anything relating to Nongoma case 16310 of 2018 that talks to murder? Well, Kumalo said, not at all, my lord. And Nisi said that he was still wondering how could this matter have been paired with case 16310 of 2018. You are saying once a prosecutor endorses after a case has been finalized, it gets archived and there's no further instruction from the prosecutor that the case needs to be further investigated. Then it means that that's the end of the case there. Is that not so? And Kumalo said that's correct. Now I'm following the question, might not be comfortable. It might not be comfortable. This question I'm about to ask. Is it permissible for a police officer to, let me not make a far-fetched example. Let me confine myself to the facts of this case because this information is factual. Was it permissible for Sergeant Mohani to act in the way that he did? Sibanda objected and said it's for the court to make that finding. The court is seized with the matter. And then Nisi
How
said,
is the court going to know the nitty-gritties of the system, of the laws that are put? You see how stupid the objection is. The company puts laws. This judge, for him to find that Mohani was not allowed to do what he did, he would need to understand the SAPS laws and regulations.
Yes.
And what the don'ts and do's, which are not going to be part of his judgment. So we are not here about Mohani. And the answer is actually very smart from this guy, Ukumalo. Very smart because he does not answer on behalf of the church, but he answers as a colleague and as a work of SAPS that he cannot pass judgment to another worker, but that is for the heads and the HRs of SAPS to deal with.
the
And that's a
principals.
correct way. Not the objection was misdirected, objection wrong, objection didn't make sense.
Even the
It was
judge
just-
helped and said, we are here about the case of Senzo. And then Sibanda flipped it. He changed that objection.
I
He changed it to, we're not here. And the witness is testifying on case 63610 of 2014.
I will always wonder. I will always question. Dr.
Ngumalo was now next. Okay, the first question is what with reference to accused persons, Qiniselan Buthelezi. He said, do you know his other name? And he said, yes, his other name was Makimba Buthelezi. Do you guys remember this name from accused number one's so-called alleged confession? Kumalo said that he was arrested on the 17th of October 2018 on the day he was
This is
found
Buthelezi
in
that
possession
accused
of-
number 5 was talking about.
when
My
they appeared at
box
Boxback.
back wathi lo baba lo ufikela wathi uzobopha Buthelezi.
Eshogininda.
You can make this thing up, can you?
No, you can't.
The confession of accused number 1 was never a confession. It was coerced, it was forced, it was written by someone who failed to think about the circumstances and they realized later and they corrected it using dance. That's my only submission. You will not find it in that court.
No. Well, the docket.
And on top of correcting it using Danzi, he find that he made a mistake when Danzi was being made to write that statement. He corrected it using Kronye, in my opinion.
Oh, yes. Concha, there are two fun dance. Danzi's first confession
You know
also
those
has
quizzes
Buthelezi
that
people.
give you 3 attempts? Exactly. They are meant for people like that. People who don't study, who wants to first view the first question, and see if you can write them down, and then do the second one, write them down where he got them correct as he was guessing, and then write the last one and hope that all these questions will come back on the last one. And unfortunately, only 20% comes back. And this is what happened. The case becomes a joke.
The docket also had an investigation diary, which was part C of the docket. It contained interaction between the police and investigating officers, as well as the prosecutors involved. Now, his commander was General Kumalo at the time. From the detective side, he said now it was General Ngwenya, who is head of DPCI in the Eastern Cape. And then Ngumalo asked him, from the time of arrest of Makimba Buthelezi, was then entering the diary to the fact that there was an outstanding suspect by the name of Bongani Sandiso Ntanzi that you were supposed to arrest. Well, Kumalo said, not at all, my lord. Was there J50, which is a document that was signed by the prosecutor and the magistrate? Was there J50 authorizing the arrest of Mr. Ntanzi before court in respect of the Nongoma case 16310 of 2018? And Kumalo said, no, if there was, I was the first person to know. So there was not even a J50. A J50 is a warrant of arrest. It wasn't there. So if the docket was booked out, he was going to know about it. In fact, he was the one who was going to book it out to another unit, is what Kumalo said, because then he was, by then, the head of detectives was in charge of all the dockets belonging to PKTT. Okay, now I was beginning to understand why this particular witness gave us such a hard time, especially before coming to court with his commander wanting to be subpoenaed by the judge. Working for PKTT, is a lot. It's not a light thing. And I know you all heard from the Madlanga Commission as well as the ad hoc committee about how the officers and detectives who work there actually need to be protected. He said that his job is to update cases on a daily basis. Malo asked him, he also told the court that there can't be a duplication of case numbers with reference to the charges as well. As we followed in this court, we've got 2 charges, case number 1. And then he said it's impossible. The system cannot allocate the same case numbers in 2 different cases. And then the judge chimed in and said, unless, of course, there's a consolidation. Is there a consolidation on this one? Where Mohani did not even speak to Kenel Kumalo.
What consolidation? There's no consolidation.
There's no consolidation.
The
Why is the
consolidation
judge
happened
bringing it
with
up?
this case because of the gun. Nakhona ngathi you don't just consolidate.
No, you don't. They
there
said
must
that
be
the gun that committed the murder, they actually found him with the gun while he was getting arrested.
Yes.
So with this one, manje judge, why isn't ngathi aga understand kwenzakala.
Nakhona to consolidate. It doesn't mean that you have to lie about the case and say it has murder. And the stupidity around it is that you say it has murder. The other accused is, in this case, is only accused of ammunition in the gun. Now you have to go back to Makimba and add the murder. And then now, if it was 1 murder on the 4 something case that happened because of this gun, then now it's going to be 2 murders. Nakhona, that murder, you must have a weapon. So man, this gun must link back also
To the murder they are saying Tanzi committed.
which is, that's how crazy. I mean, I don't know what these people were thinking.
They're either brave or they're either too bold where they don't respect any
Or they are
rules,
either
law,
smoking
procedure.
socks or something. Something is just not right, man.
They are fearless or they are feared. They know that no one is going to tell them ish. Or they are generally just dumb.
So, in their mind, they sat down and said, "Esishayile lento." Uyavaka yayibona. Yeah, le case le. They forgot to get the gist of the case that had murder about this accused Makimba, or this person was arrested. They forgot. They saw murder. They didn't look that actually these are 2 cases that were put together. They didn't see that.
No.
I'm
Well,
about to lazy mara. Awa. If you are going to cook, akuvuthwe phela.
I don't think there's anybody in their table who
Ala ngathi sipheka inyama yomuntu. Emele wazi ukuthi inyama
will
yomuntu.
assist in ukuthi ivuthe.
Uyazi ukuthi inyama yomuntu emele mangikhula bekuthiwa inyama yomuntu ayivuthwa. But I realized ukuthi abantu abadala all they wanted is for us not to test ukuthi ngampela iyavuthwa. And so we had that thing ukuthi inyama yomuntu kayivuthwa. Kushuthi nala kuphekwa inyama yomuntu.
Yeah.
Into engavuthwa, into lokho iqhubekile nje lokho ufake inkuni uthi uyayitesta isaqhamzela.
And considering how everyone who has an opposing view is treated, you'll end up in a table where everyone is just agreeing with the pots that are not cooking. So be careful how you treat people in life. Moral of the story. Yeah. Well, Numalo dealt with this consolidation. He said, let us talk about what you told this court. Makimbi is arrested for possession of unlicensed firearm and ammunition on the 17th of October 2018 with a J50 warrant. And then Kumalo said he was arrested with a J50 on the murder case. So by this consolidation, it means that one accused person does not have to appear in court now and then appears for separate cases. So it's better to consolidate these cases with 2 case numbers to be one accused person appearing in court for those charges. Is that correct? And Khumalo said that's correct. So this Nongoma case 16310 of 2018 with the murder charge, would I be correct to say that it does not exist on the system? That one ya Mukhani. And Khumalo said on the system it doesn't exist. The judge said, yeah, on the system you are right. There's a possibility that a case can be closed, like they have closed this case after 15 years through ballistics or other evidence. You find evidence which matches, then the closed case of 15 years, you go back and retract it. Well, Khumalo said you reopen, but it will still be the very same case.
Yes.
That is buried 15 years ago.
But it will also show that this case is reopened. The systems are for that. And it will add notes, right? It won't just be on a closed status and eh? There's no chronological order here.
Yeah.
You know, I wish to have his brain. Just one. And if I have it, obviously I have to make sure that I play far from the roads and all that. Just sit in this house and think what he's thinking, because I don't think you'll be able to cross the road.
Hayi khona ziyakhala. Ayi ziyakhala ngampela. Well, Nqumalo said that the case doesn't exist on the system. And Khumalo said that if you reopen it, you can't register. If it is closed, it's in archive. You want to revive it, it will reopen. It will reopen, which the system will indicate that that's the case.
That's what the system is going to say. Case reopen. Going to say who opened it. Obviously, you will need a sort of authentication from the person who owns it. That's why the IO would need to know that you are adding something, because the system is, I'm not part of the system, I've never seen it, but I believe it is created such as it has one unique IP address with you. When you do whatever that you do, it closes unless you give access to someone else, or it is given somewhere somehow. However it is given, but it must be agreed upon, I think.
Yes, yes.
So, but I see again, my friend.
Well, Nqumalo asked if the arrest of accused number 2, Bongani Ntanzi, on the 16th of June was legitimate. And he said that he's asking this question based on the answer that Khumalo gave, that this case number doesn't exist on the system. Well, Sibanda objected and said that it is not for the witness to make such a finding. He said it's a judicial determination. This witness cannot assist with that. He does not know
they would
the full
rush.
facts.
Why wouldn't I also object for the judge to make a ruling? Because, well, the judge is happy to make the ruling that, in my opinion, supports me. Obviously, everything must be referred to a 50 years of experience, 8 years of age, young at heart. Obvious. Right?
Right. Yeah, the judge got all spicy and started, the back and forth again. And Nqumalo said the rules are the same when it comes to civil and criminal matters, because now Sibanda was talking about it not being a criminal matter but a civil matter. The judge said, but maybe in hindsight, maybe if he was also an investigator in that case, Buthelezi, and the one which you say was not legitimate, having 2. Well, Khumalo said, I don't know what evidence they have in 2022, so it's very difficult for me to comment on that. And Khumalo said, is there anything in the docket that would have directed the other investigating units to investigate this case in the direction of Mr. Ntanzi? And he asked him, you can go through the docket. And the judge said, what kind of a question is that? Ask him again. Well, Khumalo said there are no statements directing to Ntanzi. Okay, and accused number 2 raised up his hand, and that's when Nongoma asked for the adjournment. When they came back, Nongoma said that on the basis, are you saying that Nongoma murder case 16310 of 2018 doesn't exist? And Khumalo said if one goes to the system, you punch Nongoma 16310, the system shows you that there's only one case, which is of possession, under which it pertains to 16310 of 2018. So Nongoma said it's clear from this record that Mr. Ntanzi was arrested, interviewed, and ultimately was charged on SAP 14A. And Khumalo said, I cannot be precise what he was charged for because in this case, 163, he was not charged. So from what they issued him with, his rights as they were, I'm going to take it from there. I don't know. But from the original case, he was not charged. So I will quickly go to this spot where he said, okay, he did explain how he met up with Gininda, and what was happening, which we've already covered. But then there was a point where Nongoma said, did Gininda tell you that Mr. Ntanzi was a person of interest in respect of the murder docket, which did not exist at all, which is the Nongoma case 16310 of 2018. And Khumalo said, we did not discuss much. He did not disclose to me the matter that he was investigating. And Khumalo said, from the massive experience, have you conducted investigations on a docket that is not on the case system? A docket that does not exist. I've never seen Khumalo that is spicy. He was spicy today.
Let's press the like button, guys. Wait, let us reach 500 at least.
He was on another level. I was like, this is what this judge has been suppressing all these years. Esnisha. Well, he said that, have you done that from your experience? And Khumalo said, no, I've never done it. Even the principals, if they come for the inspection, they're going to find out. They're going to ask me, why are you having this docket? Or else it is not there on the case system. Furthermore, even if it is an inquiry, inquiries get registered. It is subject to inspection. If that inquiry has got the potential to become the case, you can change it to a case. It becomes a case, and then you investigate. So Nongoma said, in your massive experience, have you interviewed suspects, even gone to an extent of charging them on a case that does not exist? Have you done that? And Khumalo said, it's impossible. The system will deny him that because it will say this case doesn't exist, or the system will say this is an invalid case number. So if you charge a person on the existing case, automatically it will say accused number 2 because he already exists. So if we charge another, it goes to accused number 2. But if you charge, it will go on to the existing charge, which is possession, if it is possession. And he collected the dockets last week, Thursday, of this particular Nongoma case. So he was still able to get into the system with ease and get out. That means no other new investigator was assigned on that case.
You know what that means?
What does that mean?
That means that case was not cold at all. It is hot because the PKTT works with hot stuff.
Yes!
That means this is very hot.
He works with hot.
And there is a team that deals with the cold one, the cold rooms, the mutual one. There's a mutual team, then there's a PKTT. PKTT Balanda Fresh.
Balanda Fresh. Well, Sibanda stopped Nongoma from making the witness place an entry on their diary. Okay, he objected very quick and fast, claiming that it is privileged information. The judge agreed with him. And then Nongoma said that it was allowed when the state was doing it. Why is it now that it's them, it's being disallowed? And the judge got upset and said it's privilege. She's entitled to it. He'll do it. You can do it, but not me. I can't do it.
So he's protecting who now here? The judge? Because the witness was willing to put it.
The witness had no problem putting it, but somehow he stopped it from happening. So who's being protected? And why? Why? Well, it was now time for Mshololo. I think we've covered Mshololo at the very beginning. I don't know if I should go through everything, but we did. She said what she needed to say, and I'm very proud. Towards the end.
What did he say? What did she say?
Well, she said that it is a false case. Does not exist. Okay?
You were lied at. The judge was being told you were lied at.
Yes, you were lied. It's a false case.
I don't understand why you are feeling the need to defend the fact that you were lied at. We were all lied at.
I see, we can't be shy to say that. Let us not protect the evidence.
Even though it's painful pill to swallow,
it's
because
hard pill to swallow.
The beautiful team can never lie to you, but you swallow it. You were played.
Can I just ask for an adjournment? I cannot proceed under these circumstances.
You were played.
I cannot proceed under these circumstances. I need to cool down.
Where you are aggravated.
Hi, Judge. You better come down. You're being exposed, bruh. Even your face just says it all. It says it all. The judge's face is speaking. He's speaking very loud. His face is very loud. Without saying a word, I saw him looking at Kumaro like, I'm like, why are you looking at the witness like that? Why are you looking at him like he owes you money?
He needs to relax.
He needs to relax. This is a good time, okay?
Guys, good time?
It is a good time.
For what is happening. No, guys, I'm no longer going to take calls. Yo.
That's why I'm also wrapping it up, guys.
I have to wake up and do my duties. We did cover
Mshololo. It was fantastic.
Fantastic. Mshololo, do not apologize, please.
Please don't.
If you can hear me, you are not wrong. And I don't think they can take you to LPC for that.
No.
If you go to LPC, drag 8 years old with you.
Yeah.
He said your father is young. And I'm sure your father is not young. Yeah,
he's older than her father.
Hey, my daughter. Umbonile ulokhuzana umazinyo lapho bemveza eSABC 1 siyethanda ukuganga ke eSABC 1 iveza umazinyo shocked
kodwa yini
usazothola imemo mhlasimpa kwaphela angithi ngathi kunememo mhlawumbe
uyopheka for Sunday
umazinyo bamvezile
uphekeni last week
shocked asas but ube shocked umazinyo ngalendlela le ubona ukuthi it is tantamounting to problems. What is happening there? It's giving stomach cramps. But I'm shocked. I look at it. Yo. Ngathi bethukile ukuthi defense iqhamuka phi nalento. Hayi be shocked kakhulu. Ebuka nomne wabo ngabe umne wabo ngabuyise ulokhuzana ukanina. Uloka accused number 2 ngeke ngimbize ngegama. Hey buka le lawyer le umne wabo lena impela how way ube shocked ukanini hayi ube shocked kakhulu
awusazoba shocked
usazoba shocked nalesi spaza shop sawo ngathi singawa lwabishi
hayi lesa station kumele siwe vele
propagandist.
I am tired. Everything that they cover, they are always against people. They are against people like us. They're against us. They're against us. Everything.
We're shocked. Becabanga nje ukuthi hey kazi le e-wallet izangena this week. So that I can call my fools and then we chill there. We drink water there. Joking, allegedly. Thank you very much, Siyabonga. Press the like button in your way in your way out. Siyabonga, Siyavala la.